open in prayer 3 times. May all sentient beings have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and cause of suffering. May they never be apart from this blind bliss that is free from suffering. May they remain in a state of equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. May all sentient beings have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never be part from this blind bliss that is free from suffering. May they remain in a state of equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. May all sentient beings have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they remain part from this blind bliss that is free from suffering. May they remain in a state of equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Khenpo Sherab Sangpo Khenpo Sherab Sangpo. All right, correct your motivation. Welcome to the class. Today again, we're going to talk about how to relax the mind. It is very important to talk about meditation, how to relax the mind. And when we think of it, there are a lot of ideas about how to relax the mind. There are so many methods and ideas. And some people think that relaxing the mind is to be found only in spiritual practice, like, when you meditate, when you practice, then you can relax your mind. So it to be found in spiritual practice. And other people think that it is not only in spiritual practice, but for instance, when you have a good life, then your mind also relax. Some people believe that. But the bottom line is we have to work with our minds in order to relax our mind, in order to control negative emotions. We have to work with our mind. And in working with emotions, we're dealing with the dualistic mind, what Buddhists called old habits, because they're very strong and very powerful, and we usually I think, deny them until finally they explode and cause hurt either ourselves or others. And then really we feel like, it will never get better. we are overwhelmed, and like we are always going to have a bunch of negative emotions, and deep down there is a volcano waiting to explode, you know. So because we usually deny, they control us, and we deny them until sort of they arise. Once they arise, they're Buddhists called old habits, means it's really powerful. These negative emotions, very powerful. We cannot control right away. So usually, like, we don't really try to diminish them. And that's why, and we feed them every single day. So therefore, I think very strong, very powerful. And if you think like, why do we have so many different emotions, negative emotions? From a Buddhist point of view, the root cause of emotions is our selfish and ignorance. So therefore, they're powerful. We have a lot of different negative emotions. And when Buddha was very old, and just before he died, he told that, he said that freedom is happiness. Being controlled by others is suffering. Rangwang tamche dewayin, yangwang tamche dungariyin. So you see, that is the characteristic, the definition of happiness and suffering. In Tibetan, Rangwang, Rang means self, and Wang is freedom. And then Yan Wang, Yan is others. Wang is again like freedom or power. So it means, that is Buddha said, you know, before he passed away. So it means as long as you are in control, you are happy. As long as someone else control, you are suffering. So that's Buddha said. Buddha said, as long as someone else, the other one is suffering, the characteristic of the suffering, you know, like as long as someone else control, you are unhappy. Suffering means your negative emotions. Not else. Someone else control means your negative emotions control you. So fundamentally, that reason why we cannot relax our mind is because our relationship to the emotions is not correct. So, you know, Buddhists say, you know, if you are emotionally sort of a sensitive person, you might not trust yourself because you cannot sort of predict how you will react in different situations. So it's difficult to relax your mind, and you have difficulty finding your peace and happiness as long as someone else control you. You have no freedom, you have no power. But with your practice, you can learn how to take care of your emotions and how to relax your mind. And when you're restless and you can't relax your mind, usually, people try to use different methods. Different methods means like trying to meditate, try to say mantras, try to say prayers, but sometimes it doesn't work, right? Because you have this powerful emotions, and then people think, oh, I have to meditate because of this, but then it doesn't work. Meditation, it's if you meditate like every time, every day, then little by little you can control um, emotions, negative emotions. But usually you don't practice, and then suddenly like you are get angry or something like that, then you say, okay, calm down. It doesn't work because it's already exploded, like it doesn't work right away. So then people say, okay, I can't meditate because, it's too much going on, right? So otherwise, like when you are happy and everything's easy, right? Easy way you can meditate, and since like you can relax your mind. But when you have this kind of circumstance, it's very hard. So in that kind of situation, uh, um, uh, I found that like you should try to do something like mindfulness, like means like physical like with your body or something like mindfulness practice, like can be very good that kind of situation. I mean, while I'm talking about how to relax the mind, right? Means like we cannot relax our mind usually. So when I say practice mindfulness, there are four kinds of mindfulness practice, right? You know that mindfulness of body, mindfulness of feelings, mindfulness of mind, mindfulness of phenomena. So there in Tibetan, Li Tamba Nyeri Yakpa means like mindfulness of body, Tsurwa Tamba Nyeri Yakpa, mindfulness of feeling, Sim Tamba Nyeri Yakpa, mindfulness of mind, Chu Tamba Nyeri Yakpa, mindfulness of Dharma or mindfulness of phenomena. So when your mind is like very hard, very like restless, and overwhelming, then practice and mindfulness of the body can really help calm your mind and relax your mind. You actually like if you do that with this meditation, you will feel right away your mind is really calm, and then slowly you can relax your mind. So and there are many methods of practice mindfulness of body, which is usually mindfulness of body. Usually you're practicing with the physical things, right? You know that. You know how to do this meditation. So I don't have to teach you today in detail these things because it's very common. But sometimes people have very hard, powerful, and can't relax your mind right away. Then say mantras and prayers doesn't work. Meditation also like doesn't work. So like mindfulness body, practice mindfulness body. It's a very good method. I just want to let you know if you don't know. So this is kind of a specific time, like situation. It's very good. And usually, of course, meditation is good, always good, right? No matter what, like it's always good. meditation, generally, like speaking, meditation has two aspects, right? Try to calm your mind, try to relax your mind is the first. And then looking deeply to transform is the second. So first method is try to focus your attention like on the breath, right? That's another idea. Try not think of anything. And that's the kind of like we have to dealing with when we our mind is restless, busy. And then second method is once your mind is calm and relaxed, you can also then you can go a little bit deeper, like investigate in your mind, which is actually developing your wisdom. So that is the best and good way to control your wild mind or restless mind, your busy mind. Because we need a method. We just cannot control them right away, So it's really important, meditation and relax the mind, very important, because your life would be much better, much easier if you have a relaxed mind. And also it is very important for you to understand that these disturbing emotions are not the nature of your mind. As I said, sometimes I think sometimes you feel like your negative emotions will never get better. Like you're always going to have some of these emotions deep down there, like are unchangeable roots, in you. Because many people say that, like, I meditate a lot, I practice meditate this years, many years, this and that. Still I have this. So it means like you cannot change or you cannot like reduce or diminish this powerful habit. And they're very powerful. So, it is true, they're very powerful, and our old habits are not easy to break, and positive change don't appear right away. But that doesn't mean that they are unchangeable um, or they are part of nature mind. So that's not, so develop, relaxed mind, slowly, little by little is really good, little each day through your meditation. So that's why meditation is important for all of us. And when we meditate, we need, usually like when we meditate, we need investigation, we need time, we need acceptance, we need trust, and we need commitment, we need diligence. All of this is very important for your meditation. There are two motivations, I think. Generally, some people want to become a good practitioner and are looking for enlightenment, even in this very lifetime, in order to benefit others. Very good. And some people are looking for just some practice that can help them develop their relaxation and peace so that they can reduce their stress anxiety, unhappiness. Well, both motivation good. People are looking for happiness. People want happiness. But I think looking for happiness in the future is not correct. I mean, that's my point of view. You guys looking for like every day busy, and then eventually, okay, I can retire and then I will be happy and this is my plan, this is this, that would be. I think that's wrong. I mean, I'm not saying, but I think like to me it's like looking for happiness in the future is like it's not correct. Me, like we should be happy every day, I mean, try to, right? Enjoy our life and recognize the precious time and opportunities. And every day we should be happy. Try to, like let go this negative thoughts and at least if you can help others, at least, we should be happy every day. Every day we should think that I am fortunate. I mean, I do this every day. I mean, make me happy, I have a precious human life. I always like when I wake up in every morning, like uh, it's just now it's like habit, I just automatically like comes in my mind. Oh, that's today is very fortunate. I am very healthy. I am very happy. I have this precious human life. I'm not going to waste it as much. I like, like I'm going to use my energies to, develop myself. And to expand my heart out to others to achieve, enlightenment for benefit of others. I'm going to have kind thoughts to towards others. I'm not going to get angry, or I'm not going to think badly about others. I'm going to benefit others as much as I can. It doesn't mean like I'll be perfect. I can do very good things, but at least I develop this kind of motivation. So then it's it make me happy. So I recognize how important the precious time. It's very the life is very fragile. Like I feel like more and more. Like when I think about like my root teachers, just they're amazing human beings. And every day I think about my root teacher. That's just part of my practice, right? So I have to think about my root teacher. I cannot practice without thinking about, like, forget them. It doesn't work. So then I just sometimes think like, I can't believe they are gone. Like that's like, oh wow. Sometimes it's like this, like like there's nothing like to think, like make me like surprised, like oh my goodness, they are gone. I can't believe this. Like it's amazing human beings. It's just the best human beings. But they're all gone. So I cannot be like them. It's just impossible. They are very amazing. But I think that recognize that my precious time every day, and um, appreciate that like every day I'm alive. You never know what will happen. It doesn't mean like I'm young. Some people say, many people think, especially like this young people think, I'm so young, I'm healthy, I'm not going to die. How do you know? There's no guarantee. So that makes me think that like this is so precious, every single day is really precious. There is no time to like unhappiness ruin this precious time. So I think we should be happy. That's what I'm saying. Should be happy every day. There's no reason to unhappy all the time, right? Like what's wrong? So just most people don't recognize this precious time, precious life, precious. So these opportunities people don't recognize, and then people don't recognize. They're always like thinking about in the future, future, looking for happiness for the future. So maybe you don't see future. So I think we're very fortunate. We have everything that we need. So what else we need? Nothing. So when Buddha Shakyamuni, went to Saranath after he attained enlightenment, and he met for like 5 people. He had 5 students, and he taught 5 students. He said, "I am awake." That's big, huge. This like means like we make mistakes due to the power of ignorance, right? So we're not fully awake. We have, of course, wisdom, but not fully awake. So practice is the process of awakening, and the process of awakening is like baby starting to walk, going step by step. It's totally fine if you can meditate like perfectly, totally fine. Just try to make you happy, to understand the situation, appreciate and accept your negative emotions, rather than like, controlling, or judging. It's like I always think my meditation is like, a baby starting to walk. One step, fall down, second step, little bit better and better, right? Every time. So step by step, don't rush, but it's as long as you're doing it, then it's fine. So when we practice Dharma, we start to understand the characteristic of Dharma, means like the value of your meditation, spiritual practice. To understand the value of practice, Dharma is so important. And when you meditate, we will start to see everything. Everything is a process of change. This is very important. Usually we don't see this thing. We attach to so many things, and we hope this lasts forever. No way. It's just that's just not what it is. So when you meditate, then you will start to see everything is process of change. That experience is important for us. This experience is different than what we usually think, right? Usually we think everything is same. Everything is same. Yesterday, same here. Today's last year. Everything is the same. We just don't have the recognition. We don't have the experience. And this experience, this recognition experience is it comes from practice Dharma, meditation. So usually people don't practice Dharma. People don't practice. They don't have this recognition, this experience, and then develop attachment, desire. But for us Dharma practitioners, this experience is so important. And this wisdom, wisdom is very important. That is your wisdom. Once you have this experience, whatever you do become authentic, Once you have this experience, once you have this recognition, this wisdom, whatever you do, everything is like for your compassion, for instance, your compassion for other beings will be genuine, not mixed with attachment, genuine. Your devotion to the lineage will be authentic, and your meditation will be very powerful. If you have this recognition process, everything's process of change, everything, this is precious time. Your meditation will be very powerful. Even like you meditate for 5 minutes with this recognition, it's very that this is Buddhist called the genuine renunciation. You don't have to give up everything, but you need this recognition, this experience. Then you have renunciation mind. So then your meditation will be very powerful and benefit. Then that means then we can let go of negative emotions easily. And we're capable of examining our own mind. We're capable of learn how to relax our mind and recognizing the true nature of mind. We're capable. It's possible. And a mind without understanding its nature is what Buddhists call ignorance. And when we check into, when we investigate into our mind, there are different views, different feelings, different emotions, different thoughts. All these are part of our mind. But not nature mind. They're different. But ordinary experience, this kind of, ordinary experience have nothing whatsoever to do with reality. But it's very difficult for us to separate from it, right? So it's very hard. That's why we need to practice the what they call the dzogchen, the great perfection, in order to understand the true nature. So never think that, oh, my negative emotions, I have this feeling that they never get better. Deep down there is unchangeable this thing. This may be part of my, nature mind. No, that's not. It's changeable. They're not part of nature mind. But we're very difficult separate from it, because that's why we said bad habit means powerful. They're powerful habit. In order to recognize true nature, we need practice dzogchen, the great perfection. The great perfection meditation is about recognition of the nature mind. 3 things. Practicing renunciation can reduce our attachment, our desire, right? Renunciation is to start to see the process of change. Everything is process of change. If you have that recognition, you're meditating renunciation. And practice bodhicitta, right? Second, practicing bodhicitta. Practicing bodhicitta can help us to develop great love. So we can develop great love and have less attachment, because renunciation, bodhicitta. Because love is Bodhicitta, when you practice bodhicitta, you develop great love. Great love is concern both for others and ourselves. Renunciation, reduce attachment and desire. Attachment, we need to reduce attachment because attachment concerns for our own pleasure alone. And renunciation, practice and renunciation reduce desire, attachment. And then practice bodhicitta, develop great love, right? So now we have that, great love, less attachment. And then practice, the third is practicing the great perfection. Great perfection can cut the root of our ignorance, okay? And also allow us to recognize the true nature of our minds. So it's so important, very simple way to teach what you don't understand about renunciation, about bodhicitta, about great perfection, right? About emptiness, all of that. We spend most of our time with these negative emotions, right? Negative emotions. Most of them. You have to think about it. Maybe when I say this, maybe you just don't see it. But when you sit down and think about it, investigate your mind, you will see it. You will really understand. We've spent most of our time with these negative emotions, not renunciation, right? Are you agree? We not spend our time with not renunciation mind, not bodhicitta mind, not great perfection mind. What we do usually, like almost like 20 for 3 hours, we spend our time with these negative emotions. That's why they're so powerful. That's why we just not also, like, I think, spend time with them, but we take them very seriously, and then we are literally restless. But you see, with these three practice, we can become free of that, free of all of these negative emotions. And especially one of the reasons many people love dzogchen practice is because the dzogchen practice, the dzogchen teachings are based on pointing out the true nature of mind, the basic goodness, the Buddha nature, right? And we, including all sentient beings, possess this nature, yet very few people realize it. Very few people. How many people are on this planet? Like we have 80 billion people. I think maybe just like recognized true nature, maybe 1,000 people. Don't you think? Maybe more than that. That's just maybe 1 million people recognize nature mind. We all possess, that's amazing. We all possess this true nature, but just few people really recognize it. Most sentient beings, most beings never recognize it, unfortunately, and they do not even know they have it. And I mentioned this many times, right? It is like beautiful lotus flower growing in a cave that is, facing north and never receiving sunlight of pointing out instructions. And just beautiful lotus flower in the cave, beautiful, but no one see it. No one see it. No one knows it's there. And then it die right there. Such a precious thing. That is like all beings who have this beautiful basic goodness, Buddha nature, full of these precious qualities, bodhicitta, wisdom, you know, amazing. But most beings don't realize it and then, pass through their entire lives without recognizing it and suffer all the time, right? Recognize it and then don't recognize and then suffer all the time. If you really think about it this way, you see it. How sad is that? I think it's very like you just love. This is the most favorite thing, that lotus flower. You have it, but you never sees it. You never knows it, and then you are suffering from not knowing, and then die there. So if you think about this, then you see like that's why the dzogchen teachings say that the more you practice dzogchen, more you develop your compassion towards others, other sentient beings. Why? I used to didn't understand why dzogchen practice, your nature mind practice, why you develop compassion at the same time? Because then you have this, when the more you practice dzogchen, the more you develop your qualities. It's amazing, right? You will experience, you know it. And then you see like all sentient beings possess these qualities, but they don't recognize. So that's why you have compassion to others. So the more you practice dzogchen, the more you develop your compassion. So right now we are like the lotus in the cave, right? We are like that. But you have really an opportunity to see this, sunlight. This sunlight when you are introduced to pointing out the true nature, the nature mind. We have that opportunity. You have that sort of possibility of experiencing this true nature through the practice of all these preliminaries, outer preliminaries, inner preliminaries. Once you are done with practice of meditation on these preliminaries, then actually the basic introduction of dzogchen are very simple, very easy. And through using the instructions of dzogchen meditation, you can relax the mind. That's it. And then you can relax your mind more. And then this relaxation brings happiness and spontaneous joy that is intrinsic to nature of your mind. And once you relax through dzogchen meditation, through your meditation, we can begin to feel like everything is equal. All of these negative emotions, no big deal when they arise. That's how the dzogchen practitioners feel. Everything is like when you have everything is spontaneous. Everything is part of meditation. Right now, like as ordinary beings, we have these strong negative emotions. When they arise, control us. We get angry, we get jealous, with all these things. It's a big deal. But once you develop your relaxation more and more through practice, through your dzogchen meditation, then everything is like no big deal. Everything's like equal, you know. So then you can free yourself from all these things, judging your emotions and all of these things. So when we are able to do that, whatever arises in our mind becomes great wisdom. That's they call it, not ignorance. Right now, like under the control of these negative emotions, everything in our mind becomes like why, right? Why I have this negative emotions? Why so many different kind of emotions? Because ignorance, right? Because I don't know the nature of these emotions, right? So but once we relax, we have this meditation, we have the capacity, then everything part of great wisdom. That's why they call it, what do you call it? Transform, right? Transform into negative emotions, transferring into wisdom. So not ignorance. So this is how you can begin to feel your true nature. Everything is nature mind. And then appreciate the peace and rest nature of the undisturbed mind. Means like you can relax your mind very easily. And when this happens, you're resting in openness brings a special, profound quality and inspiration that is actually the true nature of your wisdom mind. So whatever experience you have tried to be as free as possible. Then your mind can be relaxing. And a mind that is less stressed and more clear will naturally, they say, create happiness, will naturally help solve the problems of all other beings. So, that's why it's important. Buddha taught that every one of us has some kind of like essence, the seed, and everyone can recognize it if our mind relaxed. That's why, when our mind is relaxed and peaceful, we radiate positive energy that influence our environment. We are in touch with a wisdom that guides us to act skillfully. So that is what we call Mahayana's path, right? The view of the Mahayana is the union of bodhicitta and wisdom. Therefore, without bodhicitta and wisdom, enlightenment is impossible. So it's important to practice renunciation, practice bodhicitta, practice dzogchen, then enlightenment is right there in your hand. Okay? I feel like very peaceful, These days, like I meditate like hours and hours every day. Makes me relax and appreciate that my opportunities and recognize everything is process of change, and then appreciate my grateful, I'm very grateful, my teachers and Buddha especially. We have these amazing teachings. Without these teachings, I think our life is kind of like empty and meaningless. Many people disagreed with me, like when I say, like, oh no, people say like, okay, have a wonderful family and have everything is meaning of life. But to me, it's not really. To me, it's like, it's this, when you think about practice the renunciation, the life is very important, but very fragile. Then after this life is very short, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. It's very short. But after that, one after another, that makes me, like when I think about like that, it makes me practice. The thing is, I have to develop my mind so that the mind or whatever consciousness goes one after another, right? Life after life. So then, right now, I have a good opportunity to develop my mind. And so that then whatever is next will be better and better. That's what I believe. So everything's good. No big deal. So now that's it. And we should meditate for a few minutes, please. When we meditate, it is it is good to begin our meditation by including all other beings, right? Which means we are meditating on behalf of our all other sentient beings, include not only human beings, but also including animals and all of that. So then I feel like when I meditate, like correct my mind like that, I am meditating on behalf of all sentient beings. It feels really good. So that is what we call bodhicitta. So that's your mentally, like, your motivation. And then also meditation includes not only the mind. It is important to include the body, so that we can feel the resting sort of energies going through these channels and whatever you believe, whatever. And then we can remain in that relaxed state, feeling the meditation, So include everything, all sentient beings, include your body, your mind. That's your bodhicitta. Whenever you start to meditate, you need this kind of like motivation or understanding, like wisdom. Having said that, now today I would like you to practice relax the mind, right? Relax the mind. During meditation, of course, this different feelings and different thoughts, different emotions definitely will arise, right? That's not the problem. We have to recognize all of that and set our mind to rest naturally and do not follow them. That's the key point. Just to be present and free. Pater Rinpoche said that do not further anything. Do not further anything means you don't produce any further thoughts. Don't make in any further thoughts. You don't think about your thought any further. That means, but just come to rest again. So the instruction for your thoughts, is rest in its nature, neither stopping nor further anything. That's Pater Rinpoche said that charluk ngartan rawalla doluk chaparnatchi means like the way of thoughts arise is the same as before when you meditate, but the way they are freed is the most special key point. So when you meditate, during your meditation, you have different feelings, different thoughts arise, same as before, right? Now what is different? Like when you meditate, your thoughts arise, everything like same as just ordinary people, right? But this time you are different than ordinary people because you know how to free them. That's what Rumi said. That is the key, special sort of key point. The way your negative or whatever the thoughts are freed is the most thing. Means you know how to free. During your meditation, you have lots of thoughts. You know how to free them, and then how to relax them, right? How to relax your mind. Just subtle thoughts. I mean, like this very strong. Then you feel like really overwhelmed, and you cannot relax your mind at that point. So then, as I said, practice mindfulness, the body. Touching things, focus on that, because then you forget all these negative thoughts, right? Temporary. This is we call like shamatha or whatever, temporary antidote. Okay, temporary antidote. But when you have like small thoughts, sometimes they come, and then right away they are gone, dissolved. Then you don't need that kind of method. You just rest and kind of watch your mind. So there is like a watcher, and there is a like thinker, and then there is an object, your thoughts, your mind, and then somebody's watching what is happening, what is going on. For beginners, very important this. So resting without thought is you can experience your relaxation meditation if you try to rest your mind. That's we call, like, people like vipassana, right? Vipassana meditation. What is vipassana meditation? Vipassana meditation is your mind is really relaxed. You're resting. Okay, this is resting without thought is the nature of Vipassana meditation. So then it doesn't matter what kind of thought arise, how many times your mind wander away. It doesn't matter. You immediately recognize your thoughts, then just to relax there. And it can help you learn how to continue to relax and without losing your self-awareness. That is the nature of practice vipassana. Do you understand that? That's how you relax your mind. Okay? Got it? That is the instruction. So sometimes when I'm talking, and then you kind of, what is the point? Like when you start to meditate, you have nothing. Okay, how you have nothing? What is the instructions? What is the instructions? What did he say? So what?
That last sentence, you don't lose self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Can you explain that?
That is the characteristic of your mind. So when you are relaxed and then you see that you have a clarity and awareness. If your mind is relaxed, usually these things, clarity and self-awareness, never separated from you. But you just don't see it. You don't recognize this self-awareness. Mind always busy. One after another. We have so many, like 100,000s of, thoughts comes one after another. We follow, we chasing them like that. We lose this awareness. So once your mind relaxes, then you understand there is a clarity, there is a luminosity, there is self-awareness. So you have to focus on that. They come, you can't focus that more than, if you are very beginner, like more than 1 minute. Even like 1 minute is very difficult to keep that self-awareness. But that doesn't mean, you're separated from it. So self-awareness is very important. That is the definition of your nature, your mind. People think, what is mind? Okay, I have this emotion, so many different kinds of positive emotions, negative emotions, and I have these feelings, I have these thoughts, all of these are your mind, right? We believe that. That's our mind. What else? Otherwise, if your thoughts, your mind, your feeling, your mind, your emotions, not mind, what is mind then? What left? That's relative, dualistic mind, relative mind. But that's not, as I said, that's not nature mind. That's not nature mind. That's why Buddha said, people are lost. People, you don't know who you are. Because all of these negative thoughts and feelings and emotions, is this you? No, that's not you. You is nature. What is your nature? That's you. If you recognize your true nature, then you understand who you are. But right now, like we are in the cave, there is no sunlight. That's why there is no self-awareness. There's no sunlight. But we have opportunity to, the sun is right. Today it's beautiful. People complain everything. Oh, I hate this weather. I hate this snow. Come on, this mother nature, you can't change, right? People are unhappy. When they are unhappy, they complain everything. They just can't accept. They lose their self-awareness. So whatever is, snow is beautiful, sun come back, it's nice, everything is good. Everything is like, if you have an open mind, you can appreciate everything. Everything is part of your life. So if you don't like everything, then what else, So the instruction is, the instruction for this meditation is just to relax your mind. It's so easy, easy. Don't further anything. That's the key. That's the key instruction. Okay, do you understand what? Don't further anything. And if your thoughts arise, don't follow. Just recognize for a few minutes, please. Okay, let's practice for 10 minutes. Okay? Correct your motivation. Really you should think that I'm meditating on behalf of all sentient beings. And then include your mind, your body. That's part of your meditation. And then just to relax. All right. Dedication. May I attain in each and every life those blind virtues of existence.
May I pursue the flawless mindset of altruism,
Working for the one for about us. Through this very mind, may every single sentient being eliminate all forms of negativity and practice virtues forevermore. May Supreme Purchase Bodhicitta take birth where it has not a reason, where it has a reason, and never win, but continue to grow forevermore. For as long space exists, for as long as his beings endure, until then may I to remain, to dispel the suffering of all beings. May I end on my life, no matter where I'm born, attain the seven qualities, the upper realms of existence. May I meet the Dharma immediately after taking birth, and have the freedom to practice perfectly. May I please the sublime Gurus, day and night dedicate myself to the Dharma. By realizing Dharma and practicing its innermost essence, may I cross the ocean of the conditioned existence in this very life. May I teach the sublime Dharma perfectly and never become weary and tired, benefiting others in the samsara. By own mind, pursuing all compensing activities to the benefit of others, may I all in enlightenment together.
Sri, in the divine mandala, where all that appears and exists is utterly pure, you, the sovereign of all the Buddha families and teacher of the Tantras, mature and liberate the three gates into their Vajra nature. Vajra king, may you ever remain. Within the Vajra body, you reveal the mandala of the great bliss of the indestructible three secrets. Most supreme of all, Lord of the Vajra transmission, Vajra Master, may you remain for 100 eons. Through the effortless path, you directly reveal unchanging self-awareness, the basic space of great bliss. Caring for the profound key instructions of perfection, glorious Guru, may you remain until the end of existence. Precious successor to the Gurus of the three lineages, may you remain throughout the three times in Vajra form.
forever hoisting the great banner of the Dharma, of the three lineages throughout the three realms.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.